Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and you're gonna be a better person after watching this video. He fired a cancer patient for his son. So, I'm not very familiar with Reddit, but here's my story of accidental revenge. You see, during my employment I had to put up with a horrible boss. He knew nothing about the internet, social media, or the fact that women and minorities have rights. He is a sexist, racist, homophobic, Islamophobic ableist. During my time there, I had to put up with comments such as, "We should hire a young pretty girl to work here, I need some eye candy. Never mind, I am a young girl." And oh, I had to fire him, it turns out he was gay. In my state, if you have less than a certain number of employees, it's all legal. Now, halfway through my employment, he brought his son on and asked me to teach him what I knew about marketing. I didn't mind, but both he and his son insisted it wasn't to replace me, which set off that very alarm. His son was lazy and hated his father and refused to learn from me anyway. I tried to tell my boss twice. He told me to shut up and learn how men work. I never tried to teach his son again. This would be the basis for my accidental revenge. So here I am, a marketer that has earned endorsements from companies like Coca-Cola and recognition from other companies and major YouTube personalities. One of my blogs went viral on LinkedIn and I was featured in a major magazine. All this and I only worked there a year. Unfortunately, I felt a lump in my breast and, long story slightly shorter, discovered my breast cancer had returned. My surgeon gave me two options: remove both breasts or try chemotherapy. My boss had said that if I had to do chemo he would pay the entire time. Since we didn't have paid time off, I was guaranteed a year of pay. I went with the chemo, he fired me. I'm autistic, so I struggle with sudden change. He knew this and so it was particularly cruel. I had a meltdown and was non-functioning for a few days. Add in the chemo and I was miserable and depressed. To make matters worse, my boss refused to give me any commission I earned, my final week of pay, any paid leave, or even honour the signed document he had that promised to pay me through February for leaving the company peacefully. I couldn't afford a lawyer to fight, and I was too sick to look for a job. Note that the day I was fired was the day after his son turned 18. His son took over my job. In just 1 week he lost almost all of their followers, destroyed the website, dead links, keyword stuffing, and a bunch of other things that make a search engine not like showing it to people. People started complaining about the marketing instead of calling just to compliment my old boss on it. The son posts on social media irregularly and nothing relevant to the company. He might as well just post pictures of dirt. He let his son put his name on all of my blogs, even when it said things like "my 3 children." People noticed and commented. They kept deleting comments. People kept making them until finally it looks like this. Followers on social media with me? Thousands. With him? 7. Blog traffic with me? 42,000. With him? 2. It doesn't end there. I filed a complaint with my state. Since I couldn't peg him with discrimination, again legal in my state with so few employees, I tried unpaid wages. He filed a response where he obviously lies through his teeth. Evidently, he was unaware that since I saw this coming, I had documented everything. I sent it all to the state, clearly detailing every lie he told the state. The document was so long it had a table of contents, 48 pages. Yes, it was tempting to ask friends to leave bad reviews. It was tempting to take out a loan to try and sue him for the 60,000 plus damages he owes me. But seeing as how he went from being the biggest name in the industry to a joke, his company basically bankrupt, he lost his business partner and best friend, I really don't think anyone could hurt him or his company more than he did. TLDR. My boss fired me, a recognised marketer, for his know-nothing son, who tanked the company into the ground. Big Cable gets burned by own employees and contract. TLDR, cable company has to eat the cost of getting cable to my house because their employees wanted to get paid. A few years ago I moved to a new house in a somewhat rural area. There was no cable service to the house, only satellite, but when we called that big cable company they told us there was a close enough hookup to get us cable and super fast internet. Great, we make an appointment and wait. Day rolls around and 2 teams show up, a duo of tech guys for setting up the alarm system in the house and the solo installer who was supposed to run the physical cable to our house. Well, the installer found the hookup and decided we were too far and he wasn't going to do it and left, saying we were SOL. The tech guys were pissed. Turns out they only get paid for the job while the installer gets paid by the hour, so they were going to lose the entire day's worth of work. Big house and long drive, so it was their only appointment. So they took it upon themselves to find the hookup and get it set up themselves. These 2 fine gentlemen ended up stringing a cable down the hill at the back of our house and hooking up to a neighbourhood hub down below us. This hill is very steep and it was pouring rain the whole time. It was at least 150 foot of cable and it took them hours. But they did it and got everything up and running. We signed the contract and they said somebody would be back out to bury the cable in a few weeks. A few weeks later, a different guy comes out to survey what needs to be done. He can't believe how far out of their way they went to get us cable, but we signed a contract and it's binding. They ended up having to dig a ditch a quarter of a mile down our driveway and bury all new high-speed cable with no charge to us. I hope those tech guys didn't get in trouble, because they were obviously getting screwed over by the other dude, and the binding contract felt like a karmic win for everybody that ever dealt with the company's historically terrible customer service. Another karma story from 1969. Just to give everyone a heads up, I'm writing on a tablet that tends to act up, so I may have to post an edit in the middle to avoid losing everything I've written. Thank you for your patience. This story took place back in 1969 when I was on a work-study program through school and had to have a work permit. Many labour laws that we know today didn't exist yet. I used to work in what was known as a dime store, and that store no longer exists. We had this one boss who liked to put his hands on the females, regardless of age. I tried to stay out of his reach and focus on my job. One day, as I was straightening the counters after some customers had scattered the merchandise, my anatomy was suddenly grabbed from behind without warning. I have PTSD, which had not been diagnosed yet, and my immediate reaction to being assaulted was to punch back. I turned around to see who I had punched and discovered it was my boss who liked to put his hand on the females. I thought for sure I was going to be fired immediately when he went back to the office to report me. When I went in the back, I saw the office door was shut, but the angry voices were unmistakable. The big boss was giving my boss a butt chewing for touching me. Turns out that as the big boss started to go upstairs, he spotted my boss stalking me like a predator and grabbing my anatomy without permission. The big boss had a daughter my age and he was quite protective of kids like me. My boss got a warning that if he touched any of us again, he would be fired. Unfortunately, that didn't stop his shenanigans. Sometime later, a co-worker and I were straightening the counters where there were placemats, table linens, etc. when my boss strolls up and starts talking dirty to us. Given that this was 1969, we had no way to record this to prove what he was doing. It would have been our word against his. I started fervently wishing that his boss, the big boss, would catch him in the act with this latest abuse. I got my wish in an even better way. As this idiot was talking obscenely to two underage girls, his wife walks up behind him. My co-worker managed to keep a straight face, but I've never been able to manage a poker face at all. He's talking filthy to us, and his wife is hearing his crap, and I'm trying hard not to bust about him getting caught. The idiot thought I was amused about what he was saying and proceeded to talk about how his wife is lousy in bed, not knowing she's right behind him. Eventually he realised we were looking past him instead of at him. He slowly turned around, and when he realised his wife was there, glaring at him, the look on his face was priceless, and my co-worker and I lost it. I was literally on the floor laughing and clutching my ribs. When my co-worker and I paused to catch our breath, I heard the wife say, "Wait until I get you home." That started me laughing again. He beat feet away from us. After that, anytime he attempted to approach me, I would start snickering at him. He finally got the message to leave me alone. Steal my $20? Thanks for the free groceries. One day I went to the grocery store to pick up a few things. I'm waiting in line and I dropped a $20 bill. Yep, that's me, trying to hold everything because I didn't want a cart. The lady in front of me picked it up. I thanked her and held my hand out, and she said, "The things found on Earth are kept by the collector," and walks away. I was like, oh hell no. I looked at the person behind me standing in line. They couldn't believe it either. This can't be real life right now, right? So I took a deep breath and I turned back towards the lady, or whatever you want to call her, and I approached her and said, "Do I look like I'm in the mood? Let's not play games. Go ahead and give me back my money." She had the nerve to ignore me completely and tried to walk away from me. So, of course, I left everything and followed her into the parking lot as I was calling the police. Because of course somebody's about to go to jail. Not sure who at this point though, her or me. She was almost running at this point to get away from me, which was the first sign of real intelligence this lady had shown. When she got to her car, she put her bags on the ground trying to quickly get her trunk open. I was boiling at this point. I decided that her finder keeper's rule just presented the perfect opportunity for a great teachable moment. So I went into track star mode and grabbed her grocery bags and headed to my car yelling, "The things found on Earth are kept by the collector." I hopped in my car, ignoring her every attempt to get my attention. I was out of line, I'll admit, but she was too. I was hot, but I had a sense of satisfaction at the same time. Let me say this, anyone who knows me knows that as an adult this is not completely out of character for me. But anyway, I get home and open the bags, and what did I find? 3 packs of ribeye steaks, 3 pounds of salmon, 2 pounds of shrimp. I can't help but think to myself, wow, not bad for $20. Okay, so that's all for r/RegularRevenge. I really hope you did enjoy this one. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!